how you can bring some peace to the family members who are rallying around the dying person or the sick person, and how, without feeling guilty, they can execute your wishes, like how you would like to be treated when you're not able to speak, when you're not able to guide people as to what to do. So on the panel today, we have a young lawyer, Rasheeda Tabassum. She's leading the discussion today, and she's simplifying the matter into the various steps, like what is a legal document, what is the will about, and then from there on you go on to what about your last wishes, what about life-sustaining support, and various other things. Vijaynandan Reddy, again a friend of DOBARA, a very important personality in our group. He's the lawyer who offered to answer questions as and when they come up, and he will also contribute. Dr. Anjana Surath is a palliative care specialist, and DOBARA has benefited greatly from just turning to her for help and support when one does not know what to do. Thank you, Dr. Anjana. And lastly, I have Dr. Kamakshi Hati. I don't know if she's logged in, but Dr. Kamakshi Hati, as a layman, will tell us why this is important and how she found the session which she organized for her group by Rasheeda Tabassum very helpful. So here, I don't see Kamakshi yet, but we can begin with Rasheeda Tabassum. Rasheeda Tabassum, I call you to the
Yeah, ma'am. I'll take over.
session.
Good evening, everybody. Now we'll be talking about two types of wills. One is the concern with the property, whether it is immovable or movable property. And secondly, coming to the living will, which is concerned to the health issue, medical. So first we'll go with the properties. Now, as soon as you acquire a property, whether movable or immovable, and you feel that it should be secured and what it should be done with that, and you see the future lying, your family's future lying into the hands that you have acquired that property for your family future. So immediately it is to see that you execute a will. Now, who can execute a will? A legal entity can execute a will. A person who is of mentally healthy, conscious, fully aware of his consciousness, what he is executing, and that he is holding a property of his own, where he has title, interest in that property, whether it is immovable or movable property. And that is how he can protect his assets and distribute accordingly to his will and wish. His or her will and wish. It is a general word. And otherwise, if there is no will, then the distribution of the property goes as per the succession to whichever religion we are governed by. Whether if you are Hindu, then it goes according to Hindu succession, Muslim according to the Muslim succession, Christian and Parsis. So that is respectively to whichever group you belong. So if you want your properties to be distributed as per your will and wish, then it is compulsory that you have to execute a will. Now we come to what are the requisites of a will. We know what is the essential. Why should you execute a will? It is to safeguard your property and to see that as per your will and wish, the property is distributed to your loved ones. Now, what are the requisites of a will? First of all, that you should be in a conscious state. Secondly, it should be with free will. There is no force on you. There is no coercion on you. With free will, you are executing that will. And then comes that the property details and the persons to whom you are distributing. And once you execute a will, there should be two witnesses, compulsory two witnesses. And those witnesses are not entitled to know the facts of the document, but they should be aware that you are signing in presence of them, and your signatures should be attested by them, by those two witnesses. Assuming they are called into the box before the court to say that was this person, the attester, the executor, signed before you? That is the only basic questions which will be answered. Yes. But the facts of the document or the will need not be revealed to the witnesses. And those two witnesses also should be competent to be the witness, like a legal entity. Same, they should be major, they should be conscious, health, physically and mentally fit, physically in a sense. They should have knowledge to what they are doing. Then those two witnesses. And now coming to registration. Registration, though it is not compulsory for a will to be registered, but it is always better to get it registered. For the reason, assuming to, if there is in future, if there is a dispute on the will and the will is challenged, and these two witnesses are not available, they are no more or what, for whatever reasons, then how do you prove your will? If it is registered, there is a very meager ground to not believe that it was not legally followed and registered. If the registrar is available, then he'll be the witness. Otherwise, on the face of it, apparently it is seen that it is a registered will, so all the legal formalities have been followed. So that is the reason it should be registered. And now coming to different various departments, though it is legally not compulsory that it should be a registered document, but people like GHMC, Renedo, or water department, electricity department, first question they put in is the will registered when you go for mutation? To convince them and do all that, that's a big tedious thing. Assuming it is registered, yes, it is registered, and they blindly believe and then do their job. And if in the immovable property, like we go to FDs, that is fixed deposit, bank accounts, and jewelry in the lockers, all these, though you will have a nomination there, you nominate one person, but that nominee is only a trustee. It is that person is not entitled to take unless you execute a will in support, saying that the person whom I have nominated is entitled for this through this will. Otherwise, that nominated person is only a trustee to the other legal heir. So now, that's it. And one more thing, once you execute a will, you can n number of time revoke it. You can change multiple time. Revoke in a sense, you can change multiple times, any number of time. And when does this will become invalid, or when does this will become revoked automatically is you have purchased a property, and then subsequently after a few years you were compelled to sell it. There is no such property, so this will become invalid and it is revoked. And assuming there's a plot which you have mentioned, but later on construction has been done on that plot, so then automatically that will becomes invalid and revoked. And now there are very common, I have heard about one common question where they say that the husbands usually they say that I have purchased the property in the name of my wife, but the expenditure, everything I have constructed with my amount, I have built it, then I am entitled for that property. But the latest law, ever since that Benami transaction has been gone, whoever is holding the title, that person is entitled for it, irrelevant whether that person has spent a penny or not on that property. So that person is entitled to execute a will as soon as that person is holding the title. I hope this is clear. Do you all have any doubt on the wills for movable and immovable property?
I
We
have a
learn-
question.
Yeah.
I have a question. For
Yeah.
example, if I have fixed deposits with nomination, I wrote my daughter and then sons for half. So should I write a will or it will automatically go to them?
No, nominee will be only one person, but through will, it will be distributed.
No, but see, half, some I wrote on for nominee as my son, for some I wrote as my daughter. So will it automatically, I thought, it will go now automatically to them. So after,
No,
won't it
No,
go
no.
like that? No. No, that's what I
Yeah,
want to
you have
ask.
to
So,
execute.
okay. So, okay. Thank you.
Any other doubts?
No, that's what I want to ask.
So, Dr. Rasheeda, one question, please.
Yeah.
You mentioned that in case the immovable property goes through a change, the will is automatically invalid or revoked.
Yes.
Is there a way to construct the will in a manner, because some of these changes will keep happening over time, right? Is there a way to construct the will in a manner that it is accepting of those changes that might normally occur?
See, if there is ambiguity, then the will cannot be
Got it. Okay.
got. So if you are very sure that this is what is going to happen in future, then that can be mentioned without any ambiguity.
Got it. And is this true only for immovable property, or let's say you quote a list of mutual funds, and something is sold later before the event, right? Is that changes? Or you just say mutual funds in general as a category and don't quote mutual funds specifically?
Yes, if it is not available, then there won't be any question doesn't arise with that issue.
Got it. Okay, that is very helpful. Thank you.
No, can I also add something to this question? I was about to, can you all hear me? My question is, in case of mutual funds or shares and things, they are all fluid, and I can only mention that I've got this or that, and I can sell, and suppose I sell and buy some new ones or sell some old ones, or gain some extra money on some. What happens to that? Should I be mentioning it separately, specifically? Or
No,
what
don't
will be the
mention
same
it
thing?
specifically. Don't mention it specifically. Say whatever mutual funds are remaining at the time of my demise, then those are to be distributed accordingly.
Okay. And that same thing applies to bank accounts also?
Bank account is specific. No. Bank
Yeah.
account is very specific.
Means this nominee is enough for that? If the nominee, it will go to the nominee or no?
See, as I
No, it
told
will
you,
go-
nominee is
that is
only
clear,
the
yeah.
trustee.
Yeah.
That nominee is only the trustee. So, assuming nominee takes away the amount, but you are giving it for the second child, then how does it justify? So it should be very clearly mentioned in the will. This person is
No.
the nominee, or you can otherwise say that that nominee is entitled to take away that amount. Whoever is the nominee for that account, that person is entitled to use that. That's all.
Okay. No, but because sometimes we make fixed I mean, I think, I don't know about, I mean, then I change sometimes, I use that money for something else. So
Yeah.
how can I write a will? I mean, say, then afterwards, because that deposit is not there, no? So then how do you, so what do you do? I mean, that kind of thing.
See, don't write the amount, write the account.
No, account. But then, see, fixed deposit has a different number, no? If I write, but that is not there because I may use the money. I mean, sometimes that's what happens.
That won't be applicable. Once that FD is not available, it won't be applicable. That's all.
That's all. Okay. Yeah. Okay then.
Could I ask a question, please?
Yeah, sure.
You'd mentioned that if there is a nominee and then in the will you write that the nominee specified in the bank account should inherit that the proceeds in the bank account. Will that be sufficient?
In the will, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because if I change the nominee, then I don't have to keep changing the will that is registered, isn't it?
Yeah, need not.
Okay, thank you.
My question is, in a Muslim family, if supposing there is no will and the person, say for instance, the father he has expired without executing any will and the wife is alive, so can the wife give a will as per her, will and wish, the distribution and all? How it goes? How
If
the
the
property will be distributed? I'm talking about the immobile property.
Yeah, father was holding the property in his name.
Yeah, it is in his name also, and it is not willed. He has not willed it anything.
As per Shariat law, you will be governed.
The wife can execute it?
No, wife cannot. She'll be having very meager share in that property.
Yeah.
The rest of the mother, father, children, and his brothers, sisters.
So how that will be disposed? As per Sharia law.
Yeah, as per Shariat law.
Okay, so mother cannot give a will for that because her husband is not
having title to the whole property. Yeah, only to her share she can will.
Okay.
Any other doubts?
No, thank you.
Would Vijaynandan like to add something now?
Yeah,
Yes,
now
Before
I'd like to.
goes on.
Is
Yes.
Rasheeda going to speak about living will also now? Or,
yeah, we'll just proceed after
Yeah, we'll go
Vijayanandan
to
sir
Yeah.
speaks on
yeah,
will
yes.
and
Well,
further
Thank you.
issues to
Thank,
add it.
thank you.
Just to add to what Rasheeda ji has said, I'd like to just add some more details, The first thing is that you can make a will only if it's your self-acquired property.
That is in Hinduism. Yeah.
And then second thing is, in the will, you can always add a person who is known to you as an executor of the will. So that will help in, smoothing out the process of the will, executing the will. The third thing is there is something called probate, which very fortunately is not applicable in Telangana.
Telangana.
Otherwise, that's a huge legal process applicable all over India.
What is probate?
Probate is you have to prove your will by going to a court.
Mhm.
You have to go to the court and prove that it is the actual genuine will of the person who died. So
Oh,
that's a big process. Luckily we don't have it. So that's out. Then for bank accounts, provident fund, and all other this kind of stuff, you have what is called as a succession certificate. And that is available in the High Court. There is a person called an Administrator General, an official in the High Court. He's only a lawyer. So he will give you a succession certificate that will help as far as bank accounts and other things are concerned. And then we have what is called as a legal heir certificate. The other day, somebody was asking me, the husband and wife were in Dubai. The husband died. So the wife wants a legal heir certificate. So she has to come here. She has to apply to the MRO. There's an officer where she has to apply. And if he refuses, she has to go to the civil court to get a legal heir certificate that normally takes about, I am told, because I haven't been there, I am told it takes about 3 to 4 months. Then there is one more thing called will at home. Supposing the person is aged, instead of going to the registrar's office to register the will, you can have the person come, the registrar himself, to come to your house and see that the signature of the will is done. This happened in the case of a dear friend of ours, one Dr. G.P. Nair, elder brother of O.P. Nair, who used to live in Chikoti Gardens. So we did that for him, and I was the executor of the will. Then there's one more thing called codicil. Suppose you want to add anything to the will, you can always add an addendum. That is called a codicil, an extra. You can just add an extra sheet without revoking the will in toto. You can just simply add on like an extra answer sheet. And the last thing I want to say is about suspicious circumstances. Supposing the court, when the matter reaches the court for any issue, find that there is suspicious circumstances surrounding the will, then they may take cognizance of that, because there was a case of a businessman who left all his property to the cook or something like that. So that's all suspicious circumstances. So the court will take into cognizance all this. Thank you, ma'am.
I have a question here. You just mentioned that a person, an aging person, could migrate from one state to another, let us say.
Ji.
So now my Aadhaar card belongs to Telangana, whatever. And I have moved to, let us say, West India or North India.
Okay.
Now, upon death there, will my heirs have to come back to Telangana to take that certificate?
It depends on where your property is situated. If it is in Hyderabad, they'll have to come to Hyderabad.
Okay.
But will you can make anywhere.
I'll clarify a little further on this.
Okay.
See, for jurisdiction to obtain legal heir certificate,
Mm-hmm.
where the property lies, where the person has deceased, and where the legal heir are residing, their Aadhaar cards. So these three jurisdictions, we can file a case and obtain the legal heir certificate. If the deceased person is a government employee, then where he was employed, that Tehsildar, that area Tehsildar will give the certificate. Otherwise, if it's a private person, then you have to go through court where these three jurisdiction comes in.
Can I say something here?
Sure.
Actually, it's a request to Mr. Reddy that this thing you spoke about will at home, it sounds such a nice thing to me, especially in our group. Will you, sir, please kindly give some details to the group so that Mateen can share it with all of us? How easy it is and what are the procedures, who do we apply this? Because most of us are now in that stage where I think this will benefit many of us.
Ma'am, I think it's fairly easy because when Dr. G.P. Nair passed away in 2010, we only had to make a request to the registrar, I think at near Mushirabad, and he came. There was no hassle at all. They will come. They're bound to come.
So I think, Mateen, we should know about this. More of us should
The
know. about
nearest
this. That is my feeling.
registration office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wherever the person resides, that jurisdiction register, you can make a requisition letter and pay the nominal fee and get.
So
Yeah.
again, it means that in the lifetime of the senior,
Mm.
senior or his or her relatives have the knowledge of which is the closest, what do I say, MRO office or this, what
Registration, sub-register,
Registration
sub-register,
office. ma'am.
registration office.
wherever the sub-register is, we should have knowledge of that. So
Yes.
The senior herself or himself should know that some such facility exists. I
Exists.
never had heard about this. It's so good to hear.
That facilities ever since long. And one more thing, but once you call that registrar to the house, you should always have a doctor's certificate to show that you are mentally fit.
Yes, yes, yes.
Otherwise, once you are going to the registrar, you need not have that.
That's a different thing. Yeah. Thank you.
Dr. Anjana, you are saying something. Yeah, you're on mute, Dr. Anjana. You're on mute. Please unmute yourself first.
Sorry. Is it for mentally disabled or is it for everybody?
Everybody.
You are not, if the physical health is not good, you can't travel. Even then they will come. So I don't think there is, right?
Yes.
Oh.
No, but about mentally unsound, I'm not sure because doctor
No,
certificate that. I'm not
mentally
sure about that.
unsound, only physical issues you
Yes.
have.
So that's
You
all.
have.
Okay, I think.
And one more thing I wanted to ask, as rightly Vijayanandan sir has said, to make a complete document set, what are the requisites? First, you should have I know I have to say that death certificate, a will, and then comes a legal heir, which is compulsory, legal heir certificate, which is compulsory to make this set for any disposal of the property and easily accessible. This is the complete set which is required. So immediately you should go and apply for death certificate and obtain a legal heir certificate, whether in the Tahsildar or in the court. And Janan sir, for a succession certificate, we have to pay 6%, isn't it? Of the property?
No, Rasheeda ji. When my father died,
Mhm.
the Administrator General was a friend of mine.
Okay.
She suggested why don't you take it for only collateral purposes. I mean, my father left property and we had nothing much by way of bank and PF.
Okay.
But I just took it for the sake of it and it has helped me in other ways. And it's a
So
very simple thing.
How do
Very
we
well.
take it?
There's an office of the Administrator General in the High Court,
Yes.
which usually an advocate who is appointed.
Okay.
So you just go and go before him, he'll examine your witnesses and give it within no time.
On that property document or on the will?
On the will.
On the will. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. I got it.
Rasheeda, I just want to know, now, do you have to have a hair certificate separately?
Yes. Yes. Not the person, deceased legal hair should apply. Those people should go in for legal hair certificate.
Hello, how to take out legal hair certificate? What is the procedure?
That
the
goes
children-
through court.
If the children are out of station,
If
the children are out of station,
that makes no difference. You can send the papers, get the signatures done and get the papers back and file the case.
okay, with Aadhaar card.
Yeah. Aadhaar cards, passport, whatever are the
Just
documents.
describe the steps again, Tabassum, that it's not very clear. The legal heir certificate, please.
See, legal heir certificate it is compulsion to make the complete set of the property. First thing is you should have the will. Second, death certificate. Then legal heir certificate. To obtain legal heir certificate, there are two procedures. If the deceased is the government employee, Tahsildars are entitled to give you directly online application in the e-seva, and then wait for the Tahsildar for the inquiry. They come at the addressed location of the house, then they inquire and issue the legal heir certificate. If the person is not a government employee, if it is a private person, then you have to approach an advocate, file a legal aid certificate before the court. That you'll get within 3 to 4 months. And there'll be a paper publication and there's a procedure. Yes, ma'am.
My question is, this legal heir certificate happens only after the death, or can we do it in
Yes. No, only after the death of the deceased person.
Who applies for it?
Yeah, the legal aid people, children or wife or husband, whoever are alive.
Okay.
Whoever needs that.
Each one of them has to apply?
Pardon?
Each one has to apply?
No. You will not get each one. All together have to apply.
Okay.
So
I suppose one legal heir can file and make the others.
They'll be the parties. Definitely, all
like
of them should be the parties to the case. You can't leave any one of them.
No,
all
so
of
that
them.
means one legal heir certificate with many names. So each one has the equal entitlement?
No, ma'am. Here, no shares are being distributed in legal heir. Legal heir certificate is assuming there is no husband. Husband has died. Wife and 3 children.
Okay.
This is an example. So all 4 of them should file a legal heir through an advocate. The advocate will draft the case, making wife as first plaintiff, first party, plaintiff both the first party, second, third, fourth. These 4 people have to compulsory sign on the case plaint, that is called a plaint copy, has to compulsory sign, all 4 of them. And the documents which they have to submit is, if they are holding Aadhaar card, if they are holding valid ID cards, like license, passport, where both parents' name are mentioned, to show that they are the children of those parents. If it is a Muslim family, you'll have 3 wives with 8 to 10 children. So all of them become legal heir of the deceased. There is a case like that.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Tabassum. Thank you.
To the question somebody asked about if the legal heirs are outside, it happened in the case. So Rasheeda helped me to get the no objection certificates and all from people, things like that. Many other ways will be.
GPA, they can execute a GPA. Yeah,
Yes.
they can execute a GPA. There are multiple solutions to it.
Yes, there are many
Each problem have a solution.
Dr. G has raised her hand. Dr. Zarina.
So shall we proceed or wait for any doubts to be clear?
Dr. Zarina, are you going to ask your question or waiting? Dr. Zarina.
No, her phone is, muted.
Okay. Shahana also had her hand raised. Is that over? Your question, Shahana?
What is the fees for the legal heir certificate if the children are outside, out of Indian country, out of
That
India?
Yeah, that's a personal thing. It's better we'll do it
Okay.
separately.
No, you have to pay fees. That is the question.
in the court.
See, yeah,
In
that
the court.
depends.
Court fees.
Independent.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, now we'll proceed with living will or advance directive as it's called. This has been legalized in India now. Previously, we had no such document as living will or advance directive. Now, this living will, what is it actually? It is with regard to your wishes for the medical treatment in case when you fall sick and you're incompetent to communicate with the doctor or make any decisions. then this living will comes into effect. Living will has its own procedure, but the procedure with living will, you have to have two witnesses as usual, and compulsory document is a medical certificate from a physician or any person who says that you are competent to execute this living will. This living will is only concerned with medical issues. It does not deal with any other topic but except medical issues when you fall sick and you become incompetent to make any decision or give any suggestions to the doctor with regard to your treatment. So the requisites for that are, as I told you, what we require, very simple this is. We require a medical certificate from a doctor. Then we require two witnesses, those who are independent and not, their names are not mentioned in the will to do any kind of act. And then this document should be notarized. It need not be registered. It should be notarized. So these are the only three requisites. And now what is it that you have to do? You will go with examples. Like assuming a single person is residing and no one is there to take care. All that person's relatives are abroad. So that person can nominate someone very close who is taking the responsibility or who will take the responsibility and communicate with the doctor and well acquainted with this sick person. So then that person will nominate and give instructions that if I fall sick, I may be given such and such treatment. I may not be given such and such treatment. Like, no, I do not agree for ventilator. I do not want to be like a vegetable on the bed, and I don't want CPR. Like these kind of things. And then I want to donate some part of my bodies, or I want to donate my body to some college. I want to give some tissue of my body to some, that's those kind of. And then now coming, if I demise, then I should be, my funeral or burial should take immediately, or you should be wait and intimate to some children of there or any close relative. These are the instructions which can be put into the living will. And then now the expenditure, which doctor is to take care, which hospital is to be go on to, and what are the expenses, who is going to take care of the expenses, are you going to leave those expenses with that person, or should that person go and operate and withdraw from the bank? These are the foresights which come into. So these can be mentioned in the living will, only with regard to the medical treatment. That's it. That's very simple and issue, but it's a very, yes.
Yeah. You're saying only regarding the living will. So what if you say, after my death, I want the people who are visiting to be treated in such a manner, or given a meal, or what sort of music at my funeral? Is that any option? Or
not in the living will. That goes into will.
Oh.
That is the property will.
Oh, not last wishes separately.
No. That doesn't come. Yes.
What about the, see, I had a friend of mine had a problem. She wanted to be cremated, but she's a Muslim. I don't know how she had expressed to many people that she wanted to be cremated. Should that come into the living will?
Yes, that should be there. That living will. It covers in the living will.
So there was a big problem there.
Yes. And who is to be done? Who should take that responsibility? That person's name
should have done it.
Be specifically mentioned.
Though she spoke about it, but there was a big controversy, and the children did not allow it. Yeah.
No, they will not. For example, I was once in Apollo Jubilee Hills Hospital, and their 4 sons and 1 daughter. Their mother was on ventilator. The doctor said we should continue or should remove whoever is going to take that decision, because Apollo Jubilee Hills, you can understand, per day ICU charges and all. None were coming forward to give that opinion to remove that ventilator.
Yeah.
So I had to bring awareness into them, and one of the son boldly went and forwarded and came and said that we'll remove the ventilator. And they took back home, and after 2 days she expired. So, you know, that's a very crucial decision. Who's going to take the risk? That's a very big, only the person who is sick should definitely execute a will. It is more crucial for the personal issue than the welfare of the children or anybody.
Can I?
So,
Yes, Dr. Anjana.
Rasheeda, you said it is part of the living will. It is part of the
What is
Yeah.
part of the living will?
Arrangements about burial and post
Yes.
death.
It
But
is
no,
not
it
part of
is
the
part of the medical directives.
Yeah,
no?
it is. See, funeral, it is with regard to the funeral, only regard to
Yes.
funeral. Immediately that person should proceed with the funeral services. That's it.
No, what I'm saying is that this is part of the advanced directives, not living will.
same.
Living will and advanced
Isn't that the same?
directive is one and the same.
I mean,
Same.
the will. Okay, you are saying like that. Okay. That's okay.
I will.
Vijaynandan, do you want to add something?
I want some clarification about the witnesses. You said
Yes.
that the witnesses should have no function in the living will
Yes,
itself.
Yes,
That
yes.
is,
No
it
function at all.
that is, what do you mean by no function at all? That they,
Yes,
they
yes.
must do this for me or do that for me.
Independent,
They
exclusively
should be two
independent.
separate. Okay. Two
Yes.
separate people.
Yes.
Further clarify it a
Sir.
little further.
Vijaynandan, do you want to further add anything else?
You have covered everything practically, Rasheeda ji. Only thing is this Supreme Court case of 2018,
18, yes.
which dealt with living will, came as a response to the much debated issue of euthanasia.
Euthanasia, yeah.
So this is how the Supreme Court has settled it, and it has put in place some procedures. See,
Yes.
after the living will is made, there is an officer appointed to sort of execute the will, and not all the states have put that thing in place.
Yes, yes.
So I
There
don't know
is
about Telangana whether we have done it
No,
or not.
Telangana, see, it's very clear in the judgment where you can see that notarization is sufficient. Executing will be the persons whose names are mentioned. So that and notarization to make it valid, and 2 witnesses. That's all. Very simple it is. No complications in that. The persons who are to execute, their names, their phone numbers, their addresses, and each one is to be distributed with the copy.
Yes. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And their willingness is to be taken and all. That's it.
One question. Do
Yes.
all lawyers make this living will or only some particular lawyers?
No. No need of a lawyer. You can do it
Oh,
on
so-
your own.
Oh,
Not
so-
right.
Okay.
Yes,
Notarization.
notarization. You can request anyone before the court. Any court, there will be notarized people.
Oh, so we can just write it like that, is it? I mean,
Yeah, just
like
to
I
see,
can write it. I can write it, is it?
yeah, just to see whether it is legally done and all. You can verify with the advocate. That's it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So I
May I
had
come?
gone so far, sorry, I had
Hmm.
gone for registration of my will. And there I asked the registrar that there is something like a medical directives. He was not aware of it.
Mhm.
You know, he said, I
Registrar.
have not heard about it. I am not aware of it. I
Yeah,
just wanted
awareness
to-
is,
So
awareness is very less.
that I'm just bringing it to the notice.
One
that
of the reason
even
for this is to bring awareness.
Create
in the
awareness.
people. That's it.
exactly.
So this meeting is only to bring awareness. That's it.
Yes.
about Rasheeda mentioned about the ventilator. I have noticed that generally doctors and hospitals are very reticent about this. They do not want to take the lead at all until the family says something. So I have found that an issue there. So first of all, the family has to agree and then approach the doctors, and the doctors play safe there. I don't think they are
They're
legally
not
allowed
entitled to take any
Yeah.
decision.
Mm.
And in fact, it will be for their favor.
I know.
The hospital gets a lot of money. That's the first thing.
Dr. Amina Kishore, you are meaning for the removal of the ventilator, not for starting.
Yeah, no. Removal of the ventilator, or even not starting. If the family goes and says our senior has told us that no ventilator should be used, will the doctors give some advice or accept the family, or will it be an
No.
easy decision to take?
Exactly. The ventilator issue will come. You should be very clear making that sentence. No ventilator, no, it cannot be that.
Yeah.
No
Whether we put
ventilator.
it or remove it, both.
Yes, no ventilator, because if the ventilator is the only thing to keep the person alive, then it's of no use. And the person is already brain dead and it's a vegetable. So in that case, then no ventilator. But assuming ventilator for 2 days and that person may recover, then the decision is very wrong. So that should be very specifically drafted.
I see.
Clearly, without any ambiguity, it should be drafted in that way. See,
Suppose Rasheeda, when the person has written, I do not want ventilator. Okay. But then the doctors see and say that, okay, we have to put this person on ventilator. So can the children say, oh, nahi, hamare badon ne to keh diya ki nahi ventilator lagna hai. So that becomes a very dicey.
इसीलिए तो मैं कह रहा हूँ समझ जाओ कि डॉक्टर से ये पूछना what does this ventilator help that person to? क्या हेल्प दे रहा वो वेंटिलेटर? 2 days में डाल देते हैं आप लोग, ठीक हो जाएगी वो.
That is the children's responsibility.
So वो बोलना ना, आप लिविंग विल में आप बोलना, if I am becoming a vegetable, I don't need a ventilator. But if it to save my life for a little span of time, then recover. If I am going to recover, then I need a ventilator.
In the same way,
no ventilator नहीं होता ना. Blindly no
cancer
ventilator.
patient, can she specify that she does not want any chemotherapy?
Yes, of course. No treatment. That is her own self-decision, of course.
Good.
Can I share 2 incidents?
Yes, sure. Why not?
One is the Pope Francis, who passed away. He left a living will. Because the last thing he spoke was, I want to be buried in this so-and-so place.
Yes.
And in a very simple manner. And second thing is about our own doctor, Dr. Bapuji. He was taken to the hospital about 10 days ago. And then the doctor said, we have to put you on a ventilator. He said, nothing doing. I take my own decisions. So he just walked out of the hospital. And he's perfectly fine. And he's perfectly all right. And he gave us a talk at Hotel Inner Circle last Sunday. So it is always the patient's decision.
Yes.
Yes.
The patient has the last word.
Yes, but patients sometimes they don't know in the last minute. No, that's what happens.
Then
Dr.
living will
Bapuji
come.
knew.
That is the reason we need. And the patient is incompetent. Living will comes into existence.
Actually,
in our group
thing I
itself,
heard.
Yeah, I'll give you one example. In our group itself, just 2 days before that lady approached me, I told her, you execute. There is no time. Why are you wasting time? No, I'll come next week. Next week, she went into coma and stayed in coma for 8 months.
Oh my goodness.
And she was a doctor. None of the children were able to decide whether the ventilator should be removed. He was totally dead. Just ventilator, and that thing was tickling. That's all. She had become white, not even yellow, white.
Oh my God.
With tongue out. She was not at all alive. But who will take that decision?
Thank you for talking to
Well,
us, so we are aware at least now.
God should take the decision. That's what God did for my husband. Because I was worried, my son has to come and tell them to take out the ventilator. Before that, he passed away. That's all. So we were really thankful. That's what happened. He did not have to take any decision. That was.
Yes,
Everyone is
Anjana.
not that lucky. Yes, Anjana.
No, otherwise it would really feel
I
bad afterwards why we took the decision, maybe. It just happened before he came. So he just passed away. I think I was really sort of peaceful. That's what I'm telling. Not, that's what has to happen. It happened. That's all. Really
Yeah,
peaceful.
Leela has raised her hand.
Question, please.
Leela, would you like to
Is,
speak?
yes, please.
Sorry,
Thank
I
you.
was talking too much. So
Is there a particular way of, formatting that sentence that I would not want the ventilator to be used in case of what? How do I put it legally? That if the prognosis is not hopeful, how do they decide?
not recovering. If I'm not going to recover from the position in which I am, then I need not have the ventilator.
Okay.
When there is no recovery, what is the purpose of having a ventilator?
I am a doctor, and in
Yeah.
working in a hospital,
Mhm.
unless the person is declared brain dead, we cannot actually say that the patient
I know,
is not
it's so
recoverable.
difficult.
So how do I word it so that it's legally safe to say that in this case, I do not want a ventilator?
No, doctor, you cannot give any kind of advice to the patient. The patient's decision and their family member
No,
decision
no,
is
I-
to be followed by a doctor. That's all.
No, I am talking about myself. I want to give directive.
Yeah,
But
then
knowing the fact that I am a doctor, and if a doctor is present, unless they declare me brain dead, how do my relatives or my colleagues say that, okay, the no ventilator, the DNR, do not resuscitate or no ventilator thing should be followed? Is there a legal way I can actually state it clearly? That is what I'm asking.
no legal way to nahi hai, but your terminology what you're using will be helpful for you to take your children to take the decision. Legally, there is no such thing.
I think Dr. Anjana Surath has some answer too. Yes, Dr. Anjana?
In the medical directives, you can mention if any invasive procedure is not going to improve the quality of my life for the period beyond those treatments, I would not like to have that tried on me. I do not want ventilation. I do not want resuscitation. I do not want forced alimentation. These things can be entered in the medical directives. So it takes care of everything. That is, if you are not able to converse or you are not in a state to tell what it is or understand, for others, it is very clear for the doctor that these are the issues that they have to look at. Will it improve the quality of your life? If it is not going to improve, they will tell your relatives that we can put this, but it will not improve the quality of this person, right? They can say that if we do this, it will prolong the poor quality of the person. So doctors will take cognizance of what is written in the will, and then they will not do anything that was not desired by the person. And that is where palliative care actually comes in. Like we do the end of life care. End of life care is the decision making between the treating doctor, the palliative care physician, and the family. So it's a team. And the decisions that family cannot make, they can ask the palliative care physician what it entails, why it is being done, how beneficial it will be. If we don't do, what happens? If we do it, what will happen? So that can be sorted out at that time. I mean, this can be done even if there are no advanced medical directives.
This is very good clarification. Yes.
Thank you.
If the person is brain dead, no use of ventilator. Is it so?
No, it is not the person is brain dead. Brain dead is different from what we are talking about. Brain may not be functioning, but it is not dead. Okay? So brain dead is a different terminology. And a person who cannot, who is in coma is not brain dead. So that is the thing. And what happens with brain dead also, it can be put in the advanced directive that if I am brain dead, my organs can be donated, or I do not want to donate my organs. Usually brain dead situation comes only for organ donations, not for day-to-day death declarations. Yes. Okay. So it can be entered in the will that if I am brain dead, I would like to donate my organs. If you say that, then they will proceed. If you say, I do not want to donate my organs, they will not do it. Because you have said now your family doesn't have to decide once you have given the medical directives. But if you have changed your mind after making the medical directives, you can always change the medical directives also.
Thank you.
This awareness, I think we need to, spread more and more in simple language. This is so useful, and we have been waiting to hear all these things. If I may add something, Rasheeda will smile, I know, when I'm going to say this. She made a very good point in the beginning that it should be as brief and as to the point as possible. And when I went to her, I took a mini afsana with me almost, and she tried to tell me that all those things are unnecessary. It should be very pointed and very precise. So those 3 points that Rasheeda mentioned right in the beginning, I think we should note it down and prepare our medical directive. Thank you.
There are some formats. We can we can put it in the group, and everybody can make use of those.
That will be so good. Yes, that will be so.
We can do that. Yes.
Long overdue. This conversation today has been very helpful to many of us, and those who could not attend, I think they need to benefit by the minutes that we run.
I think we are finished time. Okay.
Yes, thank you very much. It was wonderful.
Okay, thank you.
And
Thank
before
you,
I
everyone.
have one more request.
Thank you,
Maybe
Tabassum.
this should be done on a regular basis, maybe once in a quarter, maybe once in a month might be too much, I think. But once in a quarter, 4 times in a year should be done.
We can, no issues. We can.
That's right.
think DOBARA should play the mediator, like a member comes to DOBARA, and DOBARA can guide the member towards these good advocates and the right kind of people, so that we get the right information at right time.
I'm still worried about Dr. Zarina's question and her hand up. Are you there, Dr. Zarina?
She is unable to, communicate through her mobile. I just asked her to do it through other means.
Oh.
She is unable to do it.
Send a message, Sarina. Send a message.
She can.
Personal, she
She's
can send it
unable to do
personally.
anything. I don't know.
Okay.
I have to talk to her on the phone.
Okay. Personally, I'll clarify. No issue.
Maybe she'll be able to communicate directly with Rasheeda. Yeah.
That will be good. Yeah.
Thank you, Rasheeda.
Thanks a lot, Rasheeda and Reddy Garu. So nice of you for putting in.
Dr. Anjana,
Welcome.
thank you.
Very helpful. Very helpful.
Good night.
Very
Good
helpful.
night, everyone.
Good night.
Last but not
Thanks.
least,
Thank you, Matin ma'am. Thank you, DOBARA. Team
for
DOBARA, thanks a lot.
leading.
Thank you so much, Matin, for joining me.
Yes, ma'am, you didn't get it.
Thanks.
Matin, ma'am, get it.
Yeah. No, I'm saying last but not least, Dr. Amina Kishore has to be thanked by all of us for
Yes.
pushing
the
Thank you,
this.
ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Amina Kishore. Thank you.
moving.
Specific thanks to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Amina.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
Matin.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you so much.
It was lovely
Thank you very
seeing all
much,
of you.
ma'am. It was wonderful to be part of this discussion.
I hope we would keep that clause that we should do this every quarter.
Mhm.
Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely,
Sure.
absolutely.
Wonderful hearing all of you, so competent questions.
Thank you. Good
Thank
night. See you.
Night.
Right. Good night.
Here it is. Good morning.
Right.
Good
Okay, I
morning.
am in Chicago. Thank you for joining me, Mateen.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, lovely. We are from here all over the world.
Yeah. Thank you so much.